Hey folks, Mad Rabbit here, back in Medieval Minecraft Season 3. Today we're making this house here, as you see, do a little bit of a tour later on. Um, Kind of inspired once again by some internet pictures. When I started, I've sort of lost my inspiration for some of the builds lately, building on here, so I'm kind of turning to what other people are doing and kind of making my own ideas out of other people's ideas. Basically, just adjusting things using certain aspects of builds to kind of inspire myself. And that's sort of been the purpose of this show all along. Whether or not you actually build these or not, um, you know, entirely up to you. You can always just use it for inspiration for yourself and building things. There is a couple of errors in this, and I will point them out when I build here, and I correct them later on. That's being one of them right there with the stairs. I'll try to use slabs all the way up. On the second level, there is a little bit of a problem with the front and back frame, which I'll point out when we get to that point. If you read some of these signs here, you can get the adjustments of how many blocks there are. Now again, you could probably change and use whatever door you want, whatever wood planks you want, whatever color. Change out the logs, whatever color you want. You could even probably change the cobble to, stone brick or other something else entirely. Um, this little frame here that I'm doing on the front door, I make an alternate version later that's a little bit easier. Um, in case you don't particularly like this one. Same thing with these. I'll show you some more later. I actually liked the other ones, so it's just sort of like I show a few options of what you could do around some of the windows and doorways in this. And obviously it's entirely up to you. But the interesting thing is 1.8 hit. Um, and another little interesting tidbit is Minecraft got sold, the company, Mojang, to um, Microsoft, which probably a lot of you have already heard about. And I won't go into whether I think this is a good thing or a bad thing, but this is where I make the mistake. And let's see here if I can show you where it is. So you will want to hold off on building this in the position that I build it in. This front and back part. The side parts are okay. See how there's a gap there? Let's see. You'll see it in a little bit. There's sort of a gap in the front, and you should probably move it one over, but you'll see me do that in a little bit. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is putting the floor in again, the same color, and this is, no, I can't remember. I can't remember when my footage started and showed that part, but I'll try and stop and show you. See, I started doing some decorative work here, and yeah, you might want to hold off a little bit on that for the front and back part here. But it comes out pretty good ultimately. These slabs are optional because it does cover up the gates that I put in. But you can do both. You can do just one or the other. It's obviously up to you. So you see here, this here is white. Well, it's the exact same as my white wool, but it's actually pink wool. I changed my pink wool to look like this. And this is where we make the change here because I figured it was a little bit different than I wanted to, so I moved one out. So that's where you want to make your change right there, going out one more. So yeah, I figured for a medieval setting, pink really wouldn't work too well in too many buildings, so I wanted to have sort of a framed look to some of the white stucco that I would use quite commonly in a lot of the houses. That's sort of why I changed the pink out. I guess it's personal preference there. I doubt I'll make anything with pink in any of this. So yeah, now it is correct on the second level. So we're going to have a series of builds, hopefully showcasing some of these new blocks that we got in 1.8 that recently released here, because there's a whole bunch of new stone types, and I'm really hoping that they actually add some slab and stairs of those new stones that they added, because I didn't see them. I just saw like sort of a stone brick version and like a raw version, like if you do play in survival mode. And it's nice to have some colored blocks, stone blocks, some new types. So I like that. I'm just hoping they make the stairs and whatnot for it, because you know me, I've complained a lot about there just not being a whole lot of variety of colors and things, and I want more. So now this is the same thing here. This is an option. I'll call this option number 1 for your doors, or your windows, sorry, for the upper level. You can put plants in those. I actually didn't get to that point. You'll see me change that up in a little bit and remove these and show you a different option, which is a little simpler. Again, probably up to you. This is sort of like your own thing. I basically put in, yeah, stuff like that. And then you can also just remove the stuff and just have the shutters, which actually sort of looks better sometimes. It's, again, sort of a preferential thing. Wanted to have 2 wide windows, something a little different in this build. So that's sort of where I've left it at. And I did it for the downstairs too, as an option, sort of the same way. Removing all those things. But again, up to you. The doors, now we have a couple of options for doors in this new version of Minecraft. You can actually, there's different door colors and types based upon the wood you can make in survival mode. I'm using the Dokucraft texture pack, so it's whatever mine is, theirs is what I'm using. So I may do some adjusting on that texture pack little by little along the way here. And on the roof, kind of doing a little bit different here, where kind of using brick in the roof design. This has sort of a different color to kind of, I don't know, it's just plain roofs are get a little boring, so trying to mix it up a little bit. And then I just use regular white wool in here. And we're going to put some dormers in too, so if you're building the roof, you might want to hold off just for a bit. And you'll see at least where they're placed, and then you'll see whether or not you want to build the roof entirely. You could probably put cobble here, or another different color, or something else there entirely. A lot of options for a house like this. As far as design goes, colors and swapping different types of things in and out. And yeah, I just nearing the end of this, so I think I did do a little bit of the inside work. Here's the dormers on the roof. They're optional. I mean, you obviously don't have to do them. You could probably put in a chimney or something if you want to, or you can actually have more dormers, like 2 on each side rather than 1. There's also different options you could do. You know, up to you. But I've made dormers on other builds too, so if you want to look at some different designs, make sure you go back and check Season 1 and Season 2 playlists also, aside from this Season 3 one. All on my channel. And yeah, they should be annotated in links, I would imagine. And I do the same thing with the roof here, basically putting in some stone brick, but again, it's optional, whatever kind of brick you wish to do in there. And I think in the future, some of my future builds, I'm going to probably lean away from doing interiors more and just doing exteriors. I think that's more of my strong point. Plus, I still need to do some adjusting on some of the interior blocks that I've shown you, past several builds of this nature, where I put little doodads in from the monster heads, basically copying in textures from other things onto the monster head textures, and if you've seen, well, you've seen some of my builds, like the bakery and some of the other ones where I use that kind of stuff heavily from Season 2. So I have not adjusted that for the 1.8 release yet. So I'm having some errors with that, unfortunately. I converted most of my texture pack over, but those particular blocks I didn't. So here I did do an interior, but I didn't use some of those little doodads, unfortunately, just because of that. A little dark in here. I put a lamp in, and now we have a new lamp too, with that sea lamp, and I might adjust the texture pack on that too. I haven't decided yet. Here it is at night, and you'll see it here once again in the daytime. And I just want to thank you guys for watching this one. I plan on doing a heck of a lot more builds that are just sort of like generic kind of houses and leaving the interiors for now. So you'll see a lot probably of this color scheme, going back to the white and wood colors, and working on this particular city block around this particular building. So I will see you guys soon. Matt Rabbit's out of here. Adios, folks.